This video is brought to you by patreon.com/worsttake. Get access to exclusive live streams and Discord servers, on-screen shoutouts, and early access to some videos when you join now. Help make sure that we can continue to make content like this by supporting the Patreon. Links are in the description down below. Hey, what's up, everybody? You know what time it is. It's film breakdown day. I want to make this earlier in the week, but the way things have been shaking out, it feels like Friday is the right day for film breakdowns, even though I know that we want these things a little bit earlier in the week. It's just busy. I got to figure out a way to get this in here without it slowing down the rest of the production and the other stuff that I have to do, especially now that the Cavs are back. And y'all know I do Cavs Burner, I do Q and Code. So bear with me as I try to figure out the production schedule for the rest of the year and try to fit these film breakdowns in and get them to you a little earlier. But we're going to be talking about the defense right now and what the defense can do to be better versus the Arizona Cardinals. There's some good stuff here. There's some bad stuff here. We're going to focus on one-on-ones, outside of miles, red zone stuff. And the big thing that I saw early in this game is that we're just not winning these one-on-one battles that we get with Myles Garrett. And that's a bit concerning, right? We're going to see one right here where the Browns get a nice one-on-one battle. You're going to see 3 bodies on Myles, right? Basically, they're going to run a chip and they're going to slide these 2 towards Myles. So that's 3-on-1 on Myles, which means 1, 2, 3 on 1, 2, and 3. So 3-on-3. You got one-on-ones all on the other side of the line. And we just nobody can get home. Nobody can win their battle fast enough. So again, we're going to see the play out. You see 68, 67, and 9. Kenneth Walker hits that chip on there. That's not Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker, old Ravens player. But Walker hits that chip. 3 guys on Myles. But no pressure to Geno Smith. And an easy throw to Tyler Lockett. Now, you could blame that throw on the coverage, but I think where I'm going to place blame is on this D-line for not getting any kind of pressure when you're in a situation where you should absolutely get pressure. That's Dalvin Tomlinson, Zadarius Smith, and not Jake Elliott, but Elliott out here with one-on-ones, right? Like not Jake Elliott, but Jordan Elliott, he gets a little bit for a little while, but then he's back to a one-on-one right here. Dalvin Tomlinson is the one I'm looking at right here where I'm like, you got to do better than this, brother. You got to. So it's really this side that's got to step up a little bit more consistently. Zadarius and Dalvin Tomlinson. Because Dalvin's going to have a 2-way go, which means he can go either gap. It's both open. It's one-on-one. This is something that you should win against the guard. Zadarius also going to have pretty much a easy run at his tackle as well because he doesn't get a chip block or anything coming off the line, but he just loses this rep. And then and same thing with Dalvin Tomlinson. They lose one-on-one, and then even worse, for whatever reason, Zadarius loops inside, which just completely clears up a passing lane. And it's a wasted opportunity right there. This one right here, again, they doubled Myles. Dalvin Tomlinson going to have another 2-way go. And the secondary gets beat on a man beater. So there's a number of things that went wrong on this play. Let's start with the man beater, actually. So let's look at the top. I want you guys to look at this part of the screen right here. So let's look at this. And you'll see where the man beater is. I'll let it play. Boom. All right. So the man beater, let's let it play again. It's Tyler Lockett. And let me tell you that thing was butter on us because not only is Tyler Lockett open, but I mean, if they wanted to go to DK later in this game, they could. But Greg here, again, like there has to be a better way to defend these concepts if you know they're coming, because they happen every week, right? There has to be a better way to do this. Because, I mean, as long as Greg goes over, right, this is always going to be butter. Like, I don't care who's running that route. As long as Greg has to go over, this is going to be butter. He can't go under. Like, the only way this works, or the only way you could stop this, is if you had some kind of form of coverage rules. And look, I'm not as smart as Jim Schwartz at this. I'm pretty sure there's a reason why this doesn't happen. But to me, I feel like there has to be some kind of rule between these two in these situations to where, hey, if you see something resembling a pick or a screen, one of us worry about which side of the numbers that we're on. Instead of worrying about our man, we shift that off and pass each other's guy off. So instead of Greg having to go over this screen just to get whipped back to the inside, instead of that, maybe what can happen is that Greg can sit. Let me go backwards. But maybe what can happen here is that Greg can sit on it. So sit, and he can carry here down this seam and pretty much just cover it like cover 3, and then have him be underneath here and just play it like that. Like, play it like, basically what I'm saying is, this is a pick and roll, basically. Like, a lot of this shit is pick and roll in basketball. And they figured this out in basketball. You got to have a healthy variation in basketball, at least, of when you're going to go under, when you're going to go over, when you're going to pass it off to your teammate, right? You can't just do the same thing every single time. You have to throw it off, because you can't be this predictable that they can know they can run these man beaters and you're not going to adjust to them. So we got to figure out, like, okay, every once in a while we got to have some passing off going over here, right? Like, even if we're in man, or even if we're in zone, like, we just got to have some unique rules for these kind of situations. That's all I'm saying, because it's too predictable for these teams, and they know they can beat us on those tendencies. It's way too easy. Again, now we'll see they doubled Miles. Again, you're going to see 68 and this tackle worried about Miles, which leaves. It's not a two-way go because that guard is there to start the snap. But I mean, like, at this point, it's a two-way go, right? Like, you got both gaps. You can get to wherever you want. And then they end up overloading this tackle, and I still don't think they get by, right? Like, Zadarius and Obo both end up overloading that tackle, and none of them get by. Like, come on, man. The left side of this line has to step it up, because that should be a pressure. Instead, it's a free throw, and they get that long developing play to hit. Like, those rub routes wouldn't hit if we getting pressure, right? That's the way you stop it at this point. Like, I could talk about the communication all I want, but if you get pressure, teams ain't got time to do this shit. Miles is doing his best, but come on, man, you get an overload on that tackle. Somebody has to win. Obo, you got to win outside. Like, he can literally go nowhere else, man. Like, that's just a bad rep from that side of the line. This right here, I mean, this threw me back to 2022. Because look at this. Look how easy it just wide open. Nothing. Right? What happened? It's the ballet again, right? Jordan Elliott triggering uphill. Gets pushed easy because he's running the same way they want him to. Now you see 94, Dalvin Tomlinson, he's battling, right? Like, he's doing what you want to do. He's doing what you want 94 to do. 94 can't get washed like this. Just absolutely can't get washed like this. You see how Dalvin Tomlinson stays where the line of scrimmage is and even fights some ground over here, but he's kind of in control of where his body is. See, that's what you're supposed to do. That's what it's supposed to look like. You see that? Again, let's watch 94. This is what it's supposed to look like, right? This is what a regular rep's supposed to look like. You watch 94. You see how he's fighting, he's struggling, but you know what? He's going where he wants to be. He's not getting pushed. It's a fight. I can live with that. What I cannot live with is what happens to 96 and 6. Because instead of fighting and maintaining his ground and maybe giving up a little space, like being in this general area right here, instead of doing that, let me draw a box where I want him to be. Instead of being in this general area over here, and instead of JOK being anywhere near this A gap where he's supposed to be, they both end up damn near over at the 40. Let's watch it again, right? 96 gives up leverage, and then look how they walk him, escort him. 53 escorting that ass all the way out. Boom. Easy. JOK escorting him out the play. 75, just put a hand on his back and push him. That's what happened last year. Look, them bad habits ain't going away. Them bad habits ain't going away. Let's look at it from the end zone angle. Again, 94 doing what he's supposed to do. It's not a perfect rep, but it's you can live with this rep, right? He's not winning, but you know what? He's not getting washed. Myles Garrett, you look at him. He's not winning, but he's not getting, well, he actually won. Never mind. Myles Garrett won that route. He's Myles Garrett. But 94 completely loses that. That's escorted all the way to hell out the play. In 6, he's supposed to be over this gap, right? Like you can see where the gap responsibilities are right now, right? You can see 5's over B, and JOK is supposed to be over A. But instead of being over A, he decides to get nosy, head over to where Walk's gap is. And you see Walk handles that right. You see Walk ain't getting pushed out of that lane. Like he's fighting. But it's JOK and Jordan Elliott that make this happen because Jordan Elliott decides he don't want to maintain his spot. You know, he want to try to get upfield for whatever reason. It was a bad gamble. That's some shit from last year. And then JOK does the same thing. Like, just be where you're supposed to be, man. That's how that happened. It's very avoidable. Very avoidable. All right, this is a 3rd down blown here. And my question is, like, where is the flat defender? Like, I just don't know what happened here. Where's the flat defender? What happened to our flat defender? Hey, look at the line of scrimmage. I mean, like, good enough job getting pressure. I think Obo wins it inside on cross. And then Miles is getting ran on and, you know, this tackle does a decent job actually making Miles run the arc here. So, good job by that tackle. It's a good rep by them. But this is a fine enough route. I mean, this is a fine enough pressure set by these guys. That's not what I'm concerned about. Like, yo, who is the flat defender though? Like, that can't be AWOG. That can't be AWOG. It has to be him. Whoever that is. That looks like Juan Thornhill. He has to be the flat defender, right? Because they're way too deep. Way too deep. Look at where the sticks are, man. Like, why are you this deep? Sticks are one line before that 5 yard. It's at the 6. So let's do that math for me. It's at the 6. Juan is all the way past, like, 1.5 yards past the sticks. And he don't even sniff this out. Like, what is going on, man? I'm not saying you got to be on his ass, right? Like, I don't want to suggest that because I know that technique, you're not supposed to be back there. You're worried about something coming across. You're worried about something coming here. You want enough depth to feel like you can come underneath something and make a play. I get it. But also, like, it's 3rd down and nobody's on Tyler. And you're not in position to make a tackle on Tyler Lockett. And then even worse, when Geno Smith starts running this way, which should really alert you that, hey, it's a 2-man, it's a 2-man. Let me get down here, right? Let me get down here just in case Geno runs. I can make an angle on him, or just in case it gets here. You're in position to do nothing about anything this far back. And then nothing happens. Like, you ain't even the first on the play. So unless Denzel Ward was the flat defender, which I find hard to believe, because Denzel Ward is clearly supposed to be on DK on this deep 9. Well, not D9, but deep 7, right? Like, just come on, man. Come on, man. Simple. Don't know what's going on with that. They just fooled the defense here. Greg Newsome's still running outside. He's supposed to be on 19. And then I don't think Alex Wright saw this one coming. Just good play call. That beat us. All right, here I do have questions on, like, why did we treat Geno Smith like Lamar? Because look at this. When he started running, we crash in on him so hard, man. Like, look at this. We got 2 guys just triggering downhill immediately the second Geno Smith runs the ball. They completely abandoned Tyler Lockett. It's Geno Smith, dog. One of y'all is enough. Like, I know Geno Smith, people think he athletic. Geno Smith not that athletic. One man's enough. One man is enough. You got somebody coming back. One man's enough. Stay back here. I promise you. You don't need to run uphill. You don't need to beat her. Instead, you abandon Tyler Lockett and bam. That's a vet too, Ronnie McLeod. He know better than that. What's this play? Yeah, this is, and to back up my point, because I know every time we get a Geno Smith situation, there's somebody in chat that's like, Quincy, what are you talking about? Geno Smith's a great athlete. Quincy, what are you talking about? Jacoby Brissett is fast. What are you talking? Nah, man. Nah, I don't know who be selling y'all them lies, but this is what Geno Smith looks like when he tries to be an athlete. That's to say, not great. Like, he's not the greatest athlete in the world. That's not what he did in West Virginia. It's not what he did at any point in New York, and it's not what he's good for in Seattle. He a pocket passer. All right. He is less athletic than Joe Burrow. All right. What's the next play here? Oh, this is on Za'Darius. Za'Darius just got to finish this play, man. Not going to lie. This wasn't a banner day for Za'Darius Smith. Does a good job winning this rep on 75, right? Inside, outside, beautiful spin. And just, he gets in position, even turns Geno Smith, but just doesn't make the tackle. And busted play, anything can happen. Because Greg Newsome gets caught back there. And honestly, like, I don't know how Greg can defend his route any longer. Like, you just got to end the play at some point if you're the defensive line. And Greg's left one-on-one here on the island. Not Greg. Was that Greg? Yes, Greg's left one-on-one here on the island on a scramble drill. And that's never going to end well. Right? Like, you can't allow the play to get to that point if you're the defensive line. You got to get the pressure. Like, that's on the defensive line. They put you over a guard for a reason to win. You do win, and you got to make that tackle, man. There's no excuse for it. You got to make that tackle. You just got to finish that play. All right, so when I talk about our defense's run D, I feel like our defense's run D is very high risk, high reward. There will be some great TFLs that they get, and there will be some inexcusable runs that they give up because they're so high risk, high reward. This is a good example of it, right? This is it working out. All right, everybody being super aggressive. JOK not minding his business, shoots a gap where he ain't supposed to, but it don't matter. He make the play. Right? This is another example of this. Look, the nice aggressiveness, and it works because Mo Hurst wins his block. And then here come Taki being aggressive. So I don't want to paint a picture as if being aggressive just hurts you on run defense. It obviously helps you, and that's why you do it so much. And like anything, look, your most powerful weapon will be your biggest weakness because it's your most predictable tool. This right here, you live by it. No, this is Browns fortunate. They had a missed tackle on this one. Well, they had not missed tackle. The Browns are fortunate on this one that it got misthrown, because that is a dangerous spot to be in. DK gets that ball, and the way that we've been tackling in the secondary, I could easily see Martin Emerson wrapping around him and DK just jetting off. So you got fortunate on that one. Good pressure. This right here, defensively, live by man, die by man, right? Like, if we gonna put them on an island like this, we need to get pressure, right? How long does this route take to develop? We're gonna be at the top of this screen. I want you guys to look at this. Top of the screen right here. We're gonna count the seconds that this route takes to develop. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4, almost 4 Mississippis. Right? That's how long that play took to develop. Let's count it again, make sure I ain't wrong. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi. So 4 Mississippis. Takes that play about 4 seconds to develop. What does that mean? Defense got to get pressure, man. We're going to be in man like this. You need to get pressure, because the key to beating man is time. If you have time, you will beat man coverage. So if we're going to do man like this, we need to be there 2.5 seconds. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3, not enough. Not enough. We need to affect the throw in under 3 seconds. Not just tag them, affect the throw, which means if they're throwing to the left, the defensive line, you got to get them hands up. You got to do something to affect the passing lane, because if you give any wide receiver worth his salt 4 seconds on an island, and look at this, he's on an island. Corner on a safety on another hash. He's on an island, but that's okay. You're overloading this side, which means you feel like you can get a pressure in less than 2.5 seconds. You got to get home, and you got to do something to affect the throw in 2.5. If you don't do that, this is going to happen every play. And we can sit here and be like, oh, Denzel Ward, terrible play by him, bad coverage. What the hell you supposed to do if you got 4 seconds to cover? Somebody could just hit a double move on you real quick. The key to stopping this stuff versus man is time. If they have time, they're going to be able to do stuff like this, because this is virtually impossible to cover one-on-one. Can't give them that much time. Run up the middle. What happens here? We wash. Look at that. Look at that. It was Mo Hurst this time. This time, Jordan Elliott does what he's supposed to do. You see how Jordan Elliott standing his ground? So this time, Jordan Elliott gets a double team. He eats it, and he eats it well, and he stands his ground. He anchors. He drops that ass, and he anchors. Look at that. Boom. Don't move, don't move, don't move. But our culprit this time is Mo Hurst trying to get upfield, right? Maybe he thought it was a pass. He thinks he's going to get upfield, and then boom, he loses leverage immediately. And at this point, he's screwed, right? Once they got your hips pointed to the sidelines, ain't nothing you could really do about that. So just got to be a little bit more patient, because that makes them super easy to move, which means that the linebackers, nobody has time to get to that gap. Also, don't know why Grant Delpit wasn't over this gap, or at least waited. So you would like to see that too, is it for Grant to just wait that half a second to see that this is going to be open, right? That this gap's going to be opening up. And then instead of going around like he did, he can kind of hover over this C gap right here. But instead, he just shoots on that outside as if Geno Smith was going to hold on to that ball. Don't know why. We was thinking Geno Smith was Lamar Jackson in this game. I don't know who told that lie, but they need to be charged. Okay. Because there's no reason that you can wait. It's Geno Smith. You'll catch him, Grant. You an athlete. And boom, those 2 mistakes end up being 15, 20 yards, man. High risk, high reward. High risk, high reward. Now this time, Mo Hurst does a better job of this, right? Doesn't get washed, gets upfield, stops, boom, makes him cut, stops. And then what's Grant doing? Grant's doing a better job at this too, right? Because this is basically the same run concept. But instead of Grant just automatically shooting this way, what does Grant do? Grant hovers, right? He hovers over this gap, well, over his blocker to know which one he should shoot. He waits. The patience is key here, right? Patience and awareness. It is key. Mo Hurst, he just comes straight to the quarterback. He actually does what happened to him in reverse on the opposite side. Stands, waits for him. Good job there. And then you see Grant right here. Grant's not shooting. Grant's waiting. Okay. Now I got it. Boom. Runs him right into Zadarius. It's a much better way. That's how you're supposed to do it. Just got to be patient. This defense can learn a thing or two about patience is what I've learned from the last 3 weeks. They need to be patient. It's definitely a thing that I take away from these games. This is a huge play. I believe this is the Martin Emerson interception. Let's let it play out. I mean, just a big play here, right? And this is where that patience pays off for Martin, because Martin gave up a couple big throws here to DK, but he stayed in the game. He stayed fighting, and you see how he waits. He doesn't shoot on this early. He doesn't take this away from Geno. He waits. He lures, right? He hovers. He sees that ball in the air, and then boom, he's there. It's great patience. Way to wait it out. Martin. Love to see that from a young player. Don't know what Pete Carroll was so mad about. That's a huge play there. All right. This is another great play by Maurice Hurst. Thought he did an excellent job. If we get to the next highlight. Look, Maurice Hurst drops back in coverage. Gets that hand up. Boom. That's what you love to see. Affects the play and then catches it. That's a crazy catch, man. That was a crazy catch. Like, look at this catch by Mo Hurst. Still don't think he caught that clean. All right. This one right here is the drop pick six. Got to take advantage of these opportunities. There were a couple opportunities like this on offense after this pick six as well that they missed out on. But, oh no, this is a bad run fit. My bad. I jumped ahead of the gun. Bad run fit here. So what happens? I thought Zadarius contained at least. Didn't do a great job of containing, so that's one thing. Dalvin Tomlinson got beat here. Nobody's getting washed. So, I mean, like, you make the argument that Denzel Ward getting washed by a tight end, but like, okay. And maybe Martin Emerson could be a little bit more aware, but I think that's expecting a little bit much out of Martin. Yeah, this is just a good backside cut. Zadarius got caught a little bit unready. He should have probably been a little bit closer to the edge of that line, but this is going to happen against anybody. I can't be too mad at this. This kind of run can happen against anybody. We've seen the Browns hit this run on people all the time. So there's not much to be upset about. Again, we're overplaying Geno Smith keeping that ball. And good run here by Zach Charbonnet. Gotta give the other team credit sometimes. All right, this right here. Again, you lucked out here. Second and long, you would have gave that up right here. Because that's there. Geno just dog arms this throw. But you got lucky there. You got absolutely, look at this throw. It's just such a shitty throw. But the the decision is there, right? Step in. He just doesn't step into this throw for whatever reason. And he had a clean pocket. I don't know why he didn't step into this, but you see how he don't step into this? Yeah, Geno don't step into this. Throws this one flat footed, and you could tell it came out wobbly as hell. Behind. He gets that off clean. That's a first down. Can't allow that to happen. Now no second and long. Good thing they didn't make it. And then here's a play where, hey, man, could have ended the game right here, too. Well, no, it's a Miles sack. Did I lose the pick six? I guess the pick six didn't make it into the cut. Sorry about that. Pick six didn't make it into the cut, but you saw the Cam Mitchell drop pick six. Can't believe they got cut. Must have been a copyright thing. Yeah, Miles gets a sack here. It's big time. Right after the drop pick six. And then we're going to look at the final drive for this defense. We're going to look at every play from this final drive from the defense. All right. Let's have it here. Boom. So ball starts here at the 42 on their own territory. We know that field goal range starts here, but really at the 35 to the 40. So if you're the Browns defense, you feel like you got 5, 10, 15, 16, 17 yards to end the game. You can give up 17 yards and feel like you can end the game. You can give up 59 yards and tie the game. What you cannot do is give up 60 yards and end the game. So that's the circumstances for them. Right here, right away, they give up way too much too early, right? I mean, we're already talking about 10 yards here. 10 yards. Well, close to that. All right, second down. Way too easy to get that. You're not in a position where you have a lot of yards to give away. But whatever, you probably got like 2 sets of downs before you can worry about this. And you're still in this first set, right? Let's get beat. Okay, cool. Second and short. Get a play here. Still at the logo. Get a play. Oh, no, you can't have that. You just can't have that. I mean, like, this is way too easy. This is way too easy of a throw. There's just not enough of a rush here coming. And this is just way too open, like way too easy in a situation where you need to care about the short yardage stuff. It's way too easy, man. Way too easy to get. That's field goal range already. We talked about that 15-yard because you can end the game 15 yards. You had 2 sets of down. It's done. It's a wrap now. Now we're worried about field goals, right? In 2 plays. The first 2 plays. Just easy. Way too easy. Way too soft on coverage. Way too soft on the call. Just way too easy for them to get that, man. Again, like, look how easy this is for the Seahawks. Like, look at that. Look at that, man. We're not even making it tough. It's an easy release, unbothered release to the ball. Like, look, nobody touches him. He's not covered. Just an easy release. Just absolutely gets forgotten about by 44. Just absolutely not there. Fell asleep. And then misses the damn tackle. Too easy. Now they're at the 15. 3 plays. 3 plays. Supposed to be the best defense in the world. 3 plays. At your 15. They started at the 40. You can cry to me about, oh, well, if the Browns would have punted the ball, they would have gave it at the 20 and that might have made a difference. Not the way they was playing. They gave up all these yards in 3 plays, dog. Like, you think another 20 was going to be hard to get by? Not the way the defense was playing. This wasn't even difficult for the Seahawks. Look at this. Look at the ease in which they get downfield. Because Sione Takitaki falls asleep at this point of the game. Like, what's going on? And then misses that tackle. It's just, this is unacceptable. Not at the 15. Now you praying you can hold it to a field goal. Might be the first stop. Yeah, almost get a sack. And you get lucky it's not pass interference, but you can get a stop there. First stop. 3 plays in, they already at the 15. That's the first stop on this drive by this defense. It's embarrassing, man. All right. You finally at a second down. A second down with no additional yards. You're finally at a second down, and what happens? 12 men on the field. 12 men on the field. That embarrassing. Embarrassing. You finally get your first stop and you wipe it out because you can't get the right personnel on the field. You're not locked in. This is just a shot. Like, they should look at this and be embarrassed because this isn't a defense that was tired. This was a defense that was not locked in. Not locked in. Like, these kind of mistakes don't happen when you locked in. 12 men on the field, that don't happen if you locked in. The camera going out, that don't happen if you locked in. Right? This was not a locked in performance. They were not locked in. Just not locked in. And then what happens here since you're not locked in? Oh, you send a DB blitz and they get you caught. They caught you. They knew exactly what your ass was about to do. They read Jim Schwartz like a book. Oh, you sending that DB blitz? Okay, we going to throw right to it. We going to throw right to it. And then DK does a great job not holding on there to get that penalty. And we ain't do a damn thing about it, man. They cut us up like butter. Like butter. In the most important part. That's what happened to this defense. So, what does this mean for Arizona? Got to find a way to lock in, man. This defense ain't been locked in 2 weeks. A lot of this stuff I'm seeing here, mental mistakes. We're cutting up field when we shouldn't. We're not paying attention to what gap we're supposed to be in. We're forgetting about our responsibilities in zone. It's just mental stuff. Small mental errors. Look, defense is cyclical. You have streaks of mental excellence and you have streaks of mental fog. So that's the thing that needs to get corrected. But this is embarrassing tape for this defense. I know people were giving it all kind of runway, and people give me all kind of criticism for being critical of this defense in this moment because everybody wants to talk about the play call on offense. But I mean, come on, man. How can you watch this back and not think it's embarrassing? Especially from a defense we thought was best in the league. This is embarrassing footage. They stopped one play on that final drive. And on that one play, they get a 12-man on the field. Embarrassing. They're capable of much better. I'm not about to yell at the offense for turning the ball over because I don't think they're much more capable than what they are right now. Quiet is kept. Like, they're playing without Deshaun. They're playing without Nick Chubb. They stink. We know they stink. Like, I'm just happy that they could put up 20. I don't care how many times they turn it over. I got no expectations for them. You should have no expectations for them either. Like, we should be happy with what we get out of them because we know they're not good. But this defense, I do have expectations for. And this kind of a sorry performance is something that I would accept out the offense because I know what it is. Not this defense. No. They should look at this tape. They should be embarrassed of themselves for this performance, especially at the end of this game. Like, I want this last drive to burn in their head how easy they let Seattle off the hook. How easy they gave this game to them. Didn't even fight for it. And make sure that this never happens again. Because this is why people call you a fraud. If you're wondering on the Browns defense, this is why people call this defense a fraud. Stuff like this, stuff like the Michael Pittman play. This is why people think you real easy to beat. Nah, man, embarrassing. They should be embarrassed. And I hope they come out like a defense that's been embarrassed and don't want to be embarrassed again versus the Arizona Cardinals, because this shit right here, not it. Nothing on that last drive is excusable, acceptable, or understandable. All the offensive struggles, you can complain about it all you want. At the end of the day, it's understandable. They're playing with PJ Walker and some running backs that we didn't know existed until this season. I can understand why they're not good. I don't understand this. I don't understand this effort from Taki. I don't understand this effort from Juan Thornhill. I don't understand this effort from Grant Delpit. I don't understand this effort from Myles Garrett. I don't understand this effort from Denzel Ward. It's not acceptable. People need to stop giving this a pass. It's unacceptable. And focus on the side of the ball that's supposed to be getting shit done. The barrier's higher. The expectations are higher. That's what you carry if you want to be the premier side of the ball on this team. But you got to live up to it. And that drive right there at the end of this game, that's something you would have saw from Joe Woods last year. That's something we would have saw in the Buffalo game last year. I cut that in on the Buffalo tape. You wouldn't have known any different. That looked like last year. Hey, man, you could blame Joe Woods for all of that. And Joe Woods is the reason for most of that. But look in the mirror, because you just let it happen without Joe Woods. Embarrassing. Should be embarrassed. And I'm not going to come off of that at all. If they play better on Sunday, good. They better. They're better than this. This was embarrassing. Like that last drive was just everything else. Like, I can understand how that happened. There was some good stuff in there, whatever. That last drive, man, wipes all that away. That was just embarrassing. Just embarrassingly incompetent. At defense. And for a unit this good, they should be embarrassed. They should be grossed out by that. That wasn't even difficult. None of that was difficult. I'm done ranting about it, though. Y'all have a great day. Have a good night. And again, I'm not saying this. Let me make a point clear before I go off, because I don't want people to think I just hate the defense now and that I'm only furious because I think that they stink and that they're frauds. No, I'm only this upset because I know that they're capable of more. I know that they're better than this. I know that that's not a representation of them. I know that this was not excusable for them because their standard is higher than that for a reason. And honestly, if you give them excuses for that drive, you're telling me right here that you actually don't believe in them. Because if you think that's an excusable drive by this defense, you think they suck. Because the only defense that's an excusable drive for is one that sucks. I think that they're actually a good defense. I think that they could be an elite defense. So I think that this is unacceptable. Because they're damn well better than this. This was embarrassing. But y'all have a great day. Have a good night. And this Browns defense, show up on Sunday. Let them know that this ain't who you are. Because that's embarrassing what you put on tape. And that ain't who you are.